It's Tool Talk on Chicks in Construction, which means we're about to save you from buying junk you don't need.
We're talking about the tools that earn their spot in the truck, not the ones collecting dust in the garage.
If you've ever been told this one's basically the same, this episode is for you.
Because no, it's not the same. And we're going to tell you why.
Because learning the hard way is overrated.
Yeah. Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Chicks in Construction. I'm your host, Mikki Paradis. This is my illustrious co-host.
Hi, I'm Jessica Abreu.
And we're back in the studio, y'all. Now listen, we done been recording for a couple episodes. So even though this is our first episode back in the studio this year, you're going to see a few we recorded because we were still working, just so you know. We didn't just just take off and just forget about you guys. We were thinking about you. Always. We've been doing a lot of thinking about you in the sense of like, what do our viewers want?
What do they need?
How can we help you? We want to be of assistance. And one of the things we found after doing some polling, if you will, was there was a little bit more requests for some chicky chat, if you will, about tools. So we are going to get into that in a little bit.
Yes, because a lot of us don't know what any tool is or what it's supposed to be used for.
I will tell you though, when she says a lot of us, she's not really talking about herself. Jess actually knows a little bit about tools. A little bit. She does. She knows how to solder wires, if you will.
Yes, I won't do it in my home, but
she will not solder anything that actually needs to work, but she knows how to do it.
Yeah, fun little science experiments.
That's half the battle.
There you go.
So, one thing I wanted to talk about, we both picked words. I always pick a word. I don't do do you do New Year's resolutions?
No, I do.
I don't do New Year's resolutions because I always fail at them epically. And the one that is seared into my mind, I don't know how long ago it was. Probably not that long, knowing me. But I really wanted to stop giving so many people the bird. I was like, I got to stop flicking so many people off when I'm driving. It was just getting out of hand. Like, it was just
giving away like candy.
It was. I was just like, work for it. At least work. I was dishing out like Halloween candy. And I was like, I probably need to just do better. So I think that did not last more than 24 hours. And it was one of those things where it's like that I immediately felt guilty because I had already busted my New Year's resolution.
Yeah. I feel like resolutions are just a good way for you to feel bad about yourself.
100%.
Because you're not going to do them.
No, I'm not going to lose weight. This is the weight that I am forever now. Okay? Everybody deal with it. This is how much I weigh.
Yeah. I might get more.
It might go up. It's not going down. Okay? I don't even know how much I weigh because the scale is the devil. And I don't want to know. No. And it's just going to be that way until the doctor's like, excuse me? Yeah. Need to work on that. I'm just going to keep living my best life.
Do you know that I went to an exercise class the other day?
Look at you.
And I know.
Jess is way better at adulting than I am, just so we're clear.
We're getting there. And the instructor in the beginning class is like, how old are you? And I was like,
you're like, ma'am, how dare you?
So I told her my age. And then she goes, how much do you weigh, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh,
and I was
my God.
I was like right now. Now, granted, it's after I have consumed an entire gluten-free cheesecake by myself in 3 days. So we're already.
This was not the moment to be asking that question, ma'am.
So I was like, normally or right now?
Those are two different things. Yep.
And she's like, well, normally. So I told her what I weigh normally.
What a weird question.
And she looks at me, she goes, oh, I thought you weighed more.
Oh my God.
What? And I didn't. I was like,
so we're never going back there again.
But I have a membership. So but I was just like,
I feel like this requires a strongly worded email.
And so
I thought it was more.
And she's like, don't take offense to it. It's just because, you. And I was like, I have a butt. That's what she was pointing to. And I was like, yes, but So I was like, maybe I need to go more often to my exercise classes so that I don't.
Okay, that would immediately make me want to never exercise again in the history of ever.
Yeah,
I would be like, oh, is that right? Just wait. I'm going to dig in now.
And it gets better. I go home and I tell my husband, I was like, what is this? And I tell him the story. And he goes, well, you do way more now, right? Because he's like, so she probably thinks like you look like you weigh more because you do.
So we're getting a divorce also. It's been a big week. It's been a big week. What is wrong with the people? That is the question. Like, here's one. Hector's been on this journey with me for a long time, and he understands the assignment. When my clothes don't fit, Hector knows that the answer to that is because the washing machine shrunk them.
Oh,
the washing machine came for me. And so
especially the dryer. The dryer is the devil.
He will get, so I'll be like, babe, you're never going to believe it. He's like, what? These pants don't fit me anymore. And he goes, that freaking washing machine. Like he does, no hesitation. The man understands the assignment. I have never gained weight. My clothes shrunk, and it was a malicious act, and it had a malicious intent, and Hector's on board with that. He never, I would say, without thought, speaks of my weight.
No.
Because Hector likes his life, and he likes being alive.
Yeah. I think my husband was trying to make me feel better about it, and just
dug that even deeper.
It didn't hit right.
Right in.
And I think because I just, right before class, I was like, oh my God, I made the mistake of stepping on the scale to see like if I gained any weight while eating all of the gluten-free.
Yeah.
Oh, I also ate an entire box of gluten-free cookies that I had gotten at the farmer's market.
Yeah, that definitely happens like on a weekly basis at my house. Apparently you're not supposed to do that.
No, it's not. It's not great for you. So.
Whoopsie
doodles.
I mean, when the Thrive box comes in,
you have to eat everything.
Always at least one box of cookies. I mean, where else am I supposed to get my gluten-free goods? We're not sponsored by Thrive, but Thrive, if you would like for us to be a very small advertising venue for you, just let us know.
We're here for it.
We're trying to grow. We're trying to grow the pod. We really are, guys. Me and Jess are really committed to being famous one day and being able to quit our jobs, but apparently a lot goes into this. Okay, you don't just like jump on the stage and you're famous the next day, which is very disappointing.
I know. Who knew?
It's so rude.
So rude.
So rude. Don't you all know that I want to retire? No one knows in my life that I want to retire, especially my dogs. No, nobody told them. Nobody told them that at some point I would like to retire. So Optimus Prime. Poor old man. So for English Mastiffs, like 6 and 7 is like senior because they don't live that long. So like 6 or 7, you're a senior Mastiff. So he's on the like senior dog protocol and he's starting to get arthritis and something was happening and he was having a real hard time getting up and down. And so we took him into the vet and we went on talk about a side quest. We went on so many side quests because they were like, oh, there's something wrong with his joints. We're going to do this procedure. It's going to cost $1,300. Okay. We take him to the vet to have the procedure. They call and they're like, well, we can't do the procedure because his blood work looks like his heart enzyme is elevated, which could mean he's in heart failure. And we did an x-ray and his heart is enlarged.
So doggy cardiologist we go.
Yes. So the next day we go to the dog cardiologist for no less than $1,000. And I was like, there goes our Christmas and New Year's. Like,
nobody gets any presents
this is
anymore.
All the money that we had. So yeah, turns out he was fine. And they were reading the numbers based off of a regular sized dog and not a 200-pounder. So the cardiologist was like, no disrespect to your vet. Because, the cardiologist just made $1,000 for nothing.
For absolutely nothing. She's like,
I am mad at it. But just so you know, if they ever say again that these numbers are elevated, these are actually his baseline numbers. And his heart is not inflamed or enlarged. He just is a big dog.
He has a big heart.
I was like, cool. Cheers. Happy New Year's. This was literally on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Yep.
It was New Year's Eve. Yeah, I was like, great. So there's that. So, just saying, like and subscribe so I can afford to pay my bills, please. Everybody's like, we don't care about your bills. And that's fine. I always say do a word, not a resolution. Yeah. And I just try to
we went on a side quest. Now we got to come back.
We went on a side quest coming back, which is, you're going to laugh at my word. All of you, if you've watched more than one episode, you're going to be like, good luck with that, lady. So I picked focus.
Because she needs to.
I do. I need to learn to land the plane, folks. I know. I hear your feedback. I do. I also watch the podcast and see myself. So I'm quite aware of just like absolute shenanigans and the many side quests we go on.
Oh, so many.
So I'm trying very hard with all the tries to do some focusing, to focus and fire the gun. We'll see how that progresses throughout the year. Hey. We're on a journey, guys, and you're gonna see how focus works as we go out through the year. Right before we started, Jess, tell me about this reel.
Oh yeah. So I was watching a reel and it said, if somebody annoys you, just tell them to focus.
I was like,
and
rude.
I was like, ooh, that's Mikki's word of the year. What? Why are you going to tell them to focus? And it was like F.O.C. So it means to tell them to fuck off because you're stupid.
Oh my God. And it's the most perfect word for me.
Not like you're, it's you are because you're.
With the apostrophe, y'all. Side quest. I'm going to note it now. One time I made a comment. It was like I was joking with a friend on her Facebook page and we were just joking around. And I said something. She posts a lot of political stuff. I was trying to make like a lighthearted comment and I put your without the apostrophe. And somebody and one of her friends came for my whole soul on the internet and was like, you ma'am are a stupid C word, but they said the C word. And I was like,
because you forgot.
Because I forgot the appropriate apostrophe. I did not use the right your.
Heaven forbid.
I was clutching
the pearls.
My pearls. I was clutching my pearls.
Oh my God.
All right. So what is your word?
Aligned.
I like that. So I'm going to try to be focused and she's going to keep us in alignment, y'all. We're on for it. We're here for it.
It's going to be a journey.
Yeah, it's going to be. We've already gone on multiple side quests in this episode.
So we're good.
I would love to know if you pick a word, what your words are. We'd love for you to comment down below what your words are. Just so that we can help. It can help us like with a database of words for next year. Because I really struggled picking my word, and we had lunch, and Jess was like, "Maybe focus." And I was like, "That's
you kept
fair."
Saying that you wanted to focus on this and focus
Jess
on
goes,
that.
That could be your word, and I was like, "Yeah, I probably should focus." She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
I'm never wrong.
She's never wrong. Let's be honest. Let's just be real. She's never wrong. So. One of the things that we've had a couple of our watchers talk about is they would love for us to talk a little bit more about like what tools do you have in the house, like how tips and tricks on certain tools. And so we were thinking that from time to time we'll do what we're going to call a little tool talk. You know what I'm saying? See that tool talk? It's so cute, right? And we're just going to talk a little bit about tools because I forget sometimes that not everybody is a contractor. I know, who am I? But obviously tools are an everyday part of my life and they have been for a very long time. And so I don't think that like, oh, there's a lot about tools that people don't know about.
No idea.
And so we're going to give you guys like a little one-on-one, that also, but a 101. We're going to do both. A one-on-one, 101. You're welcome. I'm sorry in advance. Hold on. Let me take a sip and I'll pull in our first tool.
I can't wait to see what it is.
Okay.
Let's see if I can even name it.
Well, you will. Okay, so do we know? And so I will try to be as descriptive as I can for people who listen because I also realize this is a podcast. It's not just a video. So if you're listening and not watching, it might be really helpful to click through and watch the video. But I'll try to be as descriptive as I can. So do you know the difference between these two drills that I have in my hand?
The one in your right hand looks like the one that I would use to drill the screws into the wall.
Okay, look at you. You do know stuff.
See? Look at me.
So you do know stuff. Sorry, that sounded very condescending, and I did not even mean it that way. My apologies, Jess, and to our listeners. To the people who are definitely going to come for me in the comments, because that seems to be some people's favorite side hobby. All right, so I did not realize that people didn't know the difference between these things, but it actually makes quite a big difference. And if you're a homeowner and you have to pick one, I am going to suggest that you pick, this is a drill. It's a power drill. This is a Drywall. It is very well loved. Basically, when our tools out in the field get retired, they retire to my house. So this is very well loved. And the difference between this guy and this guy is that this is an impact driver. So you can't you can, but this is not ideal to pre-drill a hole, or if you have a bit where you're trying to drill into concrete and stuff like that. This isn't necessarily. This is specifically for driving screws
into the wall,
or into all kinds of surfaces.
So you couldn't put that little doohickey thing.
No, see, that's the difference, and I did want to show that. So
and when I say doohickey, it's like
yes,
it's very
the doohickey is very technical term.
Yes, what is the technical term for it?
So this is a hex. The attachment is a hex attachment.
Okay.
And so this, you know what? I don't even know the name of this guy, but this is the thing that it has this is a Drywall also, but this is magnetic. And so it holds the drill bit, which is this little tiny guy. You can get them in longer versions, but it holds the drill bit into this. And then the hex goes, you pull this guy out, you put the guy in, and then it locks into place. And technically, they do make some attachments other than just for driving screws in this, but it's not the ideal tool for this. I will say most construction professionals use this because it's more powerful, so it has way more torque. And they call it an impact driver because when it gets to a point where the screw is driven in, the torque will adjust up and start hammering almost. So it really drives the screw in. That could be a problem for homeowners because if you're just trying to put a
little bookshelf together.
Yes, if you're trying to if you're trying to do little stuff, you don't want to drive the screw all the way through. But this has that kind of power where you could.
Right.
So professionals will use this because we understand how to adjust the speed of it with just our fingers because this is all we use. But why I suggest everybody just have a power drill is because you can adjust the torque, you can adjust the speed, you can adjust the power on this guy. So this, hold on, this chuck, that's what this is here. This is a chuck. And so this is adjustable. Now, technically this, if you see how this has a hex, this can be used in the impact driver or it can be used in the actual drill itself.
So that little doohickey thing that you just pulled out.
Yes, that
can actually be used in the other one.
It can be used in both.
Okay.
But again, if you had to choose one, you would want to go with the drill because it's just more versatile. So if one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're using drills, especially to drive a screw, if you're I don't know. What are things people do with drills at home? I'm only thinking about work.
Screws in the wall.
Okay, so you're going to hang a picture. Okay, there we go. I knew that, but my brain just wasn't braining.
It's okay.
So you're putting a screw in the wall. The biggest thing is you want to pre-drill that hole. And a lot of people are like, no, it's fine. And you're right, it can be fine, but it can also go horribly wrong because it's you don't know if there's a stud back there. If there is a stud back there, great. Then you did your little pre-drill, which you want to pre-drill with a small drill tip or drill bit. It needs to be about the size of the screw that you're driving. I'm trying to remember what we have this on here for. Oh, I over the holiday, I refaced a dresser drawer and put in new hardware. And so this was the pre-drill for the hardware holes. So things like that. And that's where you can use this to pre-drill holes. You can use this to put screws into walls. There's all kinds of uses for an actual drill versus the words are not coming to my brain.
Drill?
Thank you, Jess. The impact drill.
See, I was paying attention.
I was a good
focused.
student. She was focused. Unlike myself, the word is not wording today. Joe's laughing at me, and that's fair, as he should be. So the impact is a little bit more like you can only use it for certain things. So I do, I have these both in my house, and I do use them both in my house pretty frequently.
So now when you drill a hole into the wall, like we have this little stud finder so that it will actually find the stud. And Stud Buddy. You told me about this one. I don't have this one, but I need to get it.
Okay, you guys. I think Stud Buddy or stud finders are kind of witchcraft. Sometimes they find the stud, sometimes they don't. Or every one of them is different. So the screen could show you one thing and you think, oh, that's where the stud is, but that was the edge of the stud or you had passed the stud. So those electronic stud finders I think are really hard to use. And I went and picked this up so you didn't see my very well used Stud Buddy that I have at home. Because this is the best stud finder and I've been using this for a solid decade. It's called the Stud Buddy. And what it does is it finds the screws that are in the studs itself that are holding the drywall up.
Okay.
So it's guaranteed you're going to hit
a stud
because it's a really high powered magnet.
So it'll only find the stud if you go over where the screw is?
Yes. But then you'll know. So
but how do you know where the screw is? Isn't that harder to find because it's so little?
Well, that's what the Stud Buddy does. So the stud, it's a high powered magnet. So it doesn't have to expose the stud. It just finds where the stud is. And that's, that if there's a screw there, it's hitting a stud.
Okay.
Clearly it's very clear to me. How could I be more clear about this?
No, I understand that it's finding the screw. So
walk me through it.
All right. So the stud goes all the way up and down, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So there's screws maybe at the top somewhere or at the bottom. And I'm like, my stud finder, I can just go
all the way down. There should be screws all the way down.
Are there? I don't know.
Unless you're the world's worst drywaller, which it wasn't me. Yes. So screws get put in drywall on average, we called it in the field, and then on the perimeter of where we put the screws. So the field is the center of the board, and the perimeter is this the ends of the boards. It should be at least 8 inches on center. So there should be a screw every 8 inches.
Okay.
Going down the stud.
So finding it across the wall, you're probably going to find.
Yeah. You'll find. Yeah. That is the
That's
hope.
where I was like, if it's not.
Oh, okay. This is why we do this, because Jess is the homeowner and I'm the contractor, and she speaks homeowner and I speak contractor, so that clears that up. So yes, there is a screw, ideally every 8 inches into a stud. So when you're putting the magnet, you kind of I kind of go like that until it will suck into where the screw is, and then okay, all up and down all the way there's a stud, and so you can do the same thing over. And unfortunately, because building codes have changed in some houses are much older, some houses are brand new. So they've changed the requirements of the spacing of studs. So it should be 12 inches. It could be 14, could be 16. We had one house that was built in the 1900s, and it was every 24 inches was a stud. So it was kind of wild. They were apparently real cheap back then. They were one, real expensive. We're going to really space this out. And I was like, okay, the house might just fall apart. But
that wood was stronger back then.
It actually was. There's a whole side quest story there that we're not going to go on. So we have discussed the Stud Buddy. It is not sponsored. Again, reach out, Stud Buddy. But I do love the Stud Buddy. So some things to keep in mind. We're referring to my notes because we're not going on side quests. We are side quests.
We're staying focused.
We're staying focused. So the drill, the actual drill, the power drill, if you will, is great for drilling holes in drywall, in wood, in metal. It does light duty screw driving, and it's for precision type of work. it has like a constant rotational force. So the difference between that and this guy is this has constant rotational force. This has rotational force with the impact. So it will torque up and start kind of hammering. They are great for drilling in straight holes. They're great for control and accuracy because you can adjust, like over here. Maybe I can't. There we go. I was like, you can adjust it. So here you can adjust the power, and then here you can adjust the torque. So there's a lot more like adjustability in a drill gun versus the impact. I will say these are harder to drill if you're using if you're driving like a longer screw, because this is so much longer. It is harder to drive. Like if you were trying to drive like a 3-inch nail.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna be far away.
Yeah, not a nail, screw. The farther away you are, the less, like the more likely you are to kind of wobble and not get it straight in. So that can make a big impact. No pun intended. On the accuracy of the actual drill. So hanging shelves, drilling pilot holes, furniture assembly, and some light home projects. The impact driver, which is this guy. Sorry, guys. It is best for driving long or large screws. It's mostly used by construction professionals, even though everybody can have one. Construction framing and all that jazz. It combines rotation with rapid hammering bursts, which is what that kind of impact is. It has a much higher torque and uses a hex, which is this guy, to add your tips. It is noisy. I will say this one is lighter weight than a drill, which is helpful for us because when we're using them, we're holding them all day long. So I do like that it's lighter weight, but I will say I have the DeWalt and the Ryobi, and the Ryobi is actually a little bit lighter. So if weight mattered, like if you had arthritis or you had something that kind of limited your ability to like use power tools, I do think Ryobi is a little bit lighter weight. It's just not, the batteries don't last as long, which isn't that big of a deal if you're just doing it for at home. But for us in the field, if you will.
You need a lot of battery.
Yes. Okay, so we also kind of collected some questions that people might have about like the differences, or, you know, what questions do you want to know? So the numbers on the top, which I kind of showed you a little bit earlier, they limit how much torque the drill applies before it stops turning, which means, and like torque is like the amount of pressure that it's putting into the spin. I don't know if that's the best way to explain torque. So
is it a lower number or a higher number we'll have?
So the higher you go on the torque, the higher torque you'll get.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me put that down. Sorry. So the lower numbers, to your question, for softer materials, smaller screws. The higher numbers are for harder materials, longer screws. And the drill icon, which I'm not sure if everyone has, but I know this one does, which you're not going to be able to see. But, you know, it looks like a little drill or a drill bit, is like full power with no torque limits, meaning that's like when you've lost your mind. So when I was putting the drawer faces in, I made a template because, like, you know, they were all the same size hardware. So I was like, all right, I'll make a template and go. Pro tip: measure the template. Don't just drill the holes all the way down your nine new drawer faces until you've checked that the template actually works.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying I did all of the drawers, but
were the holes too far away or too close together?
They were just the smidgiest too far. So like the screws went in and they kind of caught the hardware, but like then the screws wouldn't drive all the way in. And I was like, oh my God. So I had to go back in and kind of make the holes a little bit closer. And it was crazy.
Does the hardware cover
Yes,
cover it
luckily
up.
the hardware covered it, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But that could be a huge thing. Like if I had really dainty hardware, like it probably wouldn't have covered it. Like the hardware that we have on our kitchen cabinets is very like those holes had to be exact. Luckily, I did not install that hardware. A professional installed that hardware. But I full torque. I was like, oh! I just had enough. I had enough. So if you ever find yourself having like a full Griswold moment where you've lost your mind and you're just going to take the whole, you're going to just take the drill and just use it to its full potential, put it in drill mode, my guys. I tell you what.
Oh,
next level.
Goodness.
So now you know.
Now, sometimes we drill a hole, and when I say we drill a hole into the wall, I mean my husband does it because I'm not drilling any holes in the wall.
Fair enough.
And he makes sure everything's level. I'm just like, yeah, looks
good.
I eyeball it. He comes in later and he's like,
it's like something.
that is crooked. You do realize that. I was like, it'll be fine.
Don't look too close, Brad.
No, don't
look too close.
It's fine.
Don't touch it either.
Yeah, don't touch it. But he puts these little plastic things into the hole.
She set it up. Okay. So that is an anchor. So you use those like every single thing that you ever buy in the history of ever that is like to be screwed into a wall. It comes with like these little plastic things.
I should throw them away.
You really should. Maria, the organizer that we had on the show a couple episodes ago, she went through my laundry room and was like, Mikki, why do you use these? And I was like, no, actually, I don't even like them. And she's like, why are they in here? And I was like, shame. I don't know because I'm a hoarder. That's why, Maria. So we threw them all out. And I highly recommend that because what you want to replace them with are self-drilling drywall anchors. These are the best drywall anchors that exist in the world.
Okay.
I will say when I was talking to Hector about this episode, I was like, you know what? We're gonna talk about drywall anchors because this is the number one thing that is the most annoying thing when you mess your drywall up at home because you didn't realize that like if you're not hitting a stud, you can't just hang something wild in these streets in the drywall because the drywall's not structural. So it'll fall. It will fall. And like it depends on what the thing is. Like if it's just a teeny tiny little baby picture, you'll probably be fine. Like if it's like
baby picture
and it's not oh, is that how your story ends?
Oh yeah. Well, it was while I was dating Brad and I had my own apartment and I hung up little shelves.
Okay. Oh.
Little shelves. And they came with those little things and I was like, I don't need these.
You're like, who needs these?
I didn't have a stud finder. I literally.
She did not have a stud buddy, you guys.
Nope.
Mistakes were made.
I just had the little drill.
And you're like, this looks great. Let's load it with 35 pounds of tchotchkes. It's going to be fine.
Nope. It was in the bathroom. It held all the like extra like towels and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much. So in that case, what you would have done if you need to install something, like if something needs to be what's like in a certain place because of like the aesthetic or the design or for it to line up or because like for me in my office, I have these 2 windows and I have all these pictures in between the windows. And they need to be spaced a certain way for it to not look weird when you're looking at it.
All on the stud.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, here's the stud. We'll just put them all here. Like, no, we had to space it out. So, like, because they were like really big pictures, we used the drywall anchors so that they didn't just fall out of the wall. But so when you're trying to hang something, and they have ratings of weight. So this holds up to 79 pounds.
Ooh.
And they have ones that are less, ones that are more. So that's something to think about when you are thinking about installing something or hanging something and it's going to have some weight to it, is to make sure that you're using an anchor if you can't hit a stud that says it will be installed, like it will hold that kind of weight. So where Hector and I had a little disagreement and it was very mild. Just so you know, in case you were worried about us, it was
Hector
very
was like,
mild.
oh, the washers.
Hector was like, oh God, Mikki threw out everything in our laundry room. He does reference that at least once a week. He's like, well, if you didn't throw everything out, and I was like, Hector, don't,
because then you had to go buy anchors instead of just having a collection of them.
Actually, I did not have any of these anchors because I've used them all. So these are going to go into my collection of anchors in my laundry room. But These are really great because Hector was saying you have to pre-drill. You actually don't. So what I love about these is like the tip of them is like a nail. And so you hammer these guys in until about an inch in, and you can see when you're supposed to hammer it in. And then you take your screw gun and you just screw it in while applying pressure. And then that goes into the wall. And then when you screw the screw that's going to hold whatever that you're hanging into the anchor, it pops the back of the anchor out, and that creates that like force that will hold it into the drywall securely.
Oh,
so that's why I love these, because you don't have to pre-drill. And these are the toggler drywall anchors. Big fan of these, but you'll be able to see the difference, like this versus the one that comes with literally everything that's you're buying that's going to be hung on the wall. Because those ones that come with everything are like super cheap and they're super janky and they're super like, that's not going to actually do anything, is it? Probably not. So I would go with a more hardcore drywall anchor. Now,
now can you screw any screw into those?
So it comes with screws that specifically fit
for that. Okay.
But if you needed it to like for instance, like I hung a plant shelf in my office and it was gold. And so like I wanted to use the gold screws. You just want to make sure that the screw you're using is roughly the same size as the one that comes with this.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, then you might need to get a different anchor. Like if it's way bigger, because you don't want to like break the anchor, and you don't want the screw to be so small that it doesn't catch the screw.
Right.
So it needs to be roughly the same. And they make a bunch of different sizes for all different kinds of drywall, for all different kinds of screws.
What do you mean different kind of drywall? How would I know what kind of drywall I have?
So there's different thicknesses, and probably you would not know. So in general, standard drywall is 1/2-inch drywall.
Okay.
But if you're in an apartment, then it's probably 5/8 because there's fire rating. No, it's 5/8 is heavier. It's the fire rated versus 1/2-inch is not fire rated. Well, it depends on who you ask. Some people are like, 1/2-inch has a fire rating. It's just not a usable fire rating for multifamily structures. The more you know, guys. But it shouldn't really matter unless you've got like a 2-hour rating and there's 3 layers of drywall, and this wouldn't get through that, because you do want it to go through the drywall enough where it can pop out on the back, because that pop out on the back is what holds
so that's what it's doing. I was like, what is it holding on to?
So it kind of like goes in and it splays out in the back, so that when something's putting pressure on it, it kind of holds the screw in. So if you had a stud, the teeth of the screw would hold on to that stud.
So you don't put those when you get a stud?
No, you do not use these. You need a drywall anchor when you can hit a stud.
Good. So even if it came with it and like part of it was on the stud and part of it was in the drywall.
Yes.
This one doesn't need an anchor.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
The more you know.
The more you know. So let's see. Yeah, the more you know.
Yeah, it's reading rainbow.
So yeah, there were a few, I'm trying to think. I want to make sure we hit like all the important things. The difference between the 1 and 2 speed on a regular drill, which we had kind of talked about, like mine's a little tricky to move, just for a little ASMR moment. The difference between those, the low speed, which has higher torque, 2 is high speed, which has lower torque. I think I was saying torque there, but I meant torque. Torque, just so you guys know, it could be either way. Have the party you want to have. Most people leave it on 2. If you have it on 2, it might be stripping your screws, because that is the lower torque, but the higher speed. So having a lower speed but a higher torque will help you to drive the screws without stripping them.
And it'll take you half a second longer.
It will take you half a second longer. And trust me, stripping a screw and getting that screw out once it's been stripped, it's not worth it. So so keep that bad boy on a 1 and take your time. Really take your time. So can I use an impact driver to drill holes? Technically, yes, but you shouldn't if you want it to be precise. Because the thing about the impact is, like, yes, they sell a bunch of different attachments for it, but it could go either way. So you can't control the speed unless you have like you really have experience with it. So that's where the actual power drill is the better one.
And you can use it to take the screw out too.
Yes, you can. So yes.
It goes in reverse.
Yeah.
For those of you who didn't know.
You know what? Let's just, because I do this all the time, so I don't think about it. But here's how you switch your underneath, like the main like engine of the gun, and engine is not the word, it's motor. The motor of the gun. There's no engine. You do not have to oil this or change or put gas in it. Just the battery. Under the motor of the gun, there's a button here. There we go. Very sexy. That just determines which direction it all spins. So you'll figure out righty tighty, lefty loosey real quick. And when you need to drive a screw, you do the one direction. When you need to just pull the screw out, you just hit the button, pull the screw out, bing, bam, boom. I also do that when I am pre-drilling. So I will, you want it to be going to the right when you drill in. But then a lot of people will just kind of use force to pull it out. So they won't change the direction of the drill. And when they come, they'll just pull it out. You can mess up the wood in that case. So like if you're pre-drilling, you could damage the wood. So I always, reverse the screw out so that you get a better fit when you do drive the screw into the stud. So I don't know, guys. Let us know down below. Do you like tool talk? Do you like having a little chitty chat about tools? Was this helpful? We're here for you. Really, we want you to have the best experience with everything home related. So we would love to know down below. Was this helpful? Would you like to see more? Is there a tool you would like a little demo on? Don't get crazy. We don't know how to drive. Well, I actually do know how to drive a forklift, but I don't know how to use an excavator. We could do that. We could do a little chicks in the field. Do a little field trip. Do a little field trip. Bring Joe out. He's like, absolutely not. I'm not doing any of that.
Can we get it in here? No, just kidding.
We could get a bobcat in here, but that would probably break a couple of rules. Anyway, I know how to do those things, but like this is probably not going to be helpful for you. But if you have a tool that you've been wondering about, or you feel like I would love to be more efficient with it, let us know down below. We're here to help you in all the ways that we can. I'm excited for next week's episode because we have some old faces coming back to do a little chat with us. Nice. We're gonna bring, just so you guys know, a heads up for this coming year, we're gonna bring some of our favorite guests back on to be a little bit more intentional about letting them talk. I don't know where that came from. I don't know
who didn't let them talk.
I don't know who didn't let them talk. Probably Joe. Joe edited it all out. Okay, that's the problem. They talked. I didn't talk over them the entire time. Joe's a wash machine. That's right. That's right. It's Joe's fault.
Oh, the Lord.
So naturally, we're gonna just bring some of them back and let them maybe say a few more words than I may not have let them say on accident the first time. So looking forward to that, guys. We're getting better every episode. We're trying with all the tries.
We're learning along with you.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, just so you know. So with that being said, we will see you next time. But before then, please like and subscribe. And just where can they find us?
They can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at Chicks in Construction Podcast, TikTok at Chicks in Construction, and then on YouTube at Chicks in Construction.
Yeah, we're doing all the things. So we'll see you guys next time, and we love you. Bye.